This is Valley View News.
The university has asked LAPD if we could borrow their bomb dogs.
An alleged gunman at Cal State Northridge could face 3 years in prison.
It was just a very challenging time to raise money.
The Providence Holy Cross Medical Center is opening a new $180 million wing. And more than 700 people have been arrested during an anti-Wall Street protest in New York.
Welcome to Valley View News. I'm Andrea Anderson.
And I'm Taylor Cage.
An Italian jury has ruled American exchange student Amanda Knox not guilty of murder. Judge Claudio Prezio-Hellman read the verdict before a tearful Knox and family. Although Knox was cleared of her murder charges, the 6-person jury upheld the charge of defamation against her. Knox and her ex-boyfriend, Raphael Sausalito, were accused of killing British exchange student Meredith Kircher 4 years ago.
Police in New York have arrested hundreds of anti-Wall Street protesters in rallies that began weeks ago. More than 700 activists were taken into custody for blocking traffic during a march over the Brooklyn Bridge. Some of the people arrested claim officers had tricked them into leaving the pedestrian walkway. Protesters say that they're angry that the financial industry received taxpayer money. The day before, police arrested 25 people who refused to leave the lobby of Bank of America building. Protesters blame Wall Street for an economy where unemployment remains above 9%.
Hundreds of protesters pitched tents in front of Los Angeles City Hall, inspired by anti-Wall Street protests in New York. Protesters marched and danced on floats throughout the downtown streets. Others sprawled on blankets in the shade, painting signs or holding strategy sessions. Passing cars honked in support and even donated necessities such as food and supplies. The demonstrators say they oppose what they call corporate influence on government and the shift of wealth towards the rich.
A Cal State Northridge student who allegedly brought a gun to campus will appear in court on October 19th. Darren Johnson joins us in the studio for more on the tense day at CSUN.
Taylor, police searched much of the day for the suspected gunman on campus. It turned out the suspect was attending his philosophy class.
Garin Moradian allegedly claimed to have brought a gun into the Oviatt Library on Tuesday, September 27th, prompting a shutdown of the library and cancellation of classes that day. Students were alerted via text message, phone call, email, the school's website, and Facebook updates.
And then I got an email and said that there was a man walking around the Oviatt, and that made a lot of sense because I was walking around the Oviatt at 10:30 and everybody was leaving.
LAPD were dispatched to handle the situation. Once they arrived, they maintained a presence on campus during the search for the suspect. Some students, like Veronica Garcia, weren't sure what to do next.
If it is dangerous, why are they not telling us to leave?
Director of News and Information Carmen Ramos-Chandler briefed the media on the measures being taken to ensure students' safety.
As a precautionary measure, the university has asked LAPD if we could borrow their bomb dogs, and they're going to do a search of the library again from top to bottom as a precautionary measure. And once the dogs say it's clear, then the library will be reopened.
Students' reactions were mixed.
So you weren't scared at all?
Nah, not really. The place I come from, there's guns all the time, so he's just probably trying to scare someone or something, or he could be protecting himself, you never know.
Garin Moradian has been charged with felony criminal threat.
The suspect was released on bail the night after the incident. Back to you.
President Obama wants Congress to vote on his jobs bill. The president says he plans to make an announcement about submitting proposed free trade agreements. The agreements will include countries like South Korea, Panama, and Colombia. Senate Republicans have long backed free trade agreements with those countries in hopes of creating more jobs for America.
These Angelenos represent the 12.1% of Californians without jobs. Some have been out of work for years, while others, like Jasmine Romero, have only been jobless for months.
It's been a little stressful trying to get a job, but you gotta maintain yourself.
The Workforce Center kept the hope alive by giving tips to ensure they impress the employers.
I know it's been tough out there, and you haven't been able to get a job, and you kind of start, dropping your wings, but don't be defeated because the employers can read your face, all right?
These motivated job seekers then flock to meet representatives from companies like Homestead Senior Center, Mother's Nutritional Center, and Habitat for Humanity. For many, like Habitat for Humanity's Jessica Stone, these job fairs are essential to finding quality employees.
letting people know that we actually have positions open. A lot of people think that Habitat for Humanity is completely done by volunteers, and we do actually have, we have approximately 70 employees right now, and we're looking to hire.
When they get out here and network, interact with people, that makes the endorphins in their body kick in. They get more energized, and they also are able to maybe network and then find that job.
Some job fair participants filled out applications, while others, like Lynette Franklin, took this as a learning experience.
We've just been laid off, and so it's hard to find a job right now. And coming here has really helped me and understand how to use resources, how to get help, how to interview and do resumes, which is really wonderful.
Job fairs are one of the many services this WorkSource Center has to offer. Every Thursday they offer resume and interview workshops. And for more information, you can go to communitycareers.org. In Compton, I'm Justine Burrows for Valley View News.
A Texas chemical plant has caught fire. The Magna Blend chemical plant in Waxahachie burst into flames with black smoke billowing into the sky. Chemicals have been released into the air, and the gases released by the fire are possibly dangerous. The plant is located just 30 miles south of Dallas. The plant manufactures chemicals for a variety of industries. The fire caused a fire truck to explode. Wedgeworth Elementary School and Navarro College have been evacuated. Authorities warned residents to stay indoors with windows shut. No injuries have been reported, and all employees are accounted for.
A 67-year-old man was found alive 6 days after his car plunged into a Los Angeles National Forest ravine. David Laveau survived by eating leaves and drinking water from a creek. He broke some ribs, dislocated his collarbone and shoulder, and fractured bones in his back. His family found him by tracking his route home from a nearby grocery store. After rescuing Laveau, firefighters discovered another vehicle with a dead driver. Authorities are investigating how Laveau and the other vehicle ran off the road.
One of the largest hospitals in the San Fernando Valley is getting bigger. Brendan Nakamini reports it's celebrating its 50th anniversary by opening a new wing.
Providence Holy Cross Medical Center is one of only 2 hospitals in the valley with a trauma center. It's increasing its capacity by opening a new wing that's been in development for 10 years. Providence Holy Cross Medical Center recently opened its new $180 million, 105-room South Wing. But project manager Patricia Mayberry says the development began about 10 years ago.
We ran like 100% occupancy almost all the time. And we knew that our community was growing and that a lot of our neighboring hospitals were closing.
In fact, during the mid-2000s, around 400 beds were taken out of local hospitals because of budget problems. Fundraising manager Brian Thorne says this hard economic time made raising money difficult.
It took us probably another 18 months longer than what we had planned, and it was just a very challenging time to raise money at that point.
But he says the way hospital workers came together really supported the mission of the hospital.
One of the really exciting things that happened is we had a lot of employee support. The employees at this hospital contributed almost $750,000 to the campaign.
The hospital also had to deal with concerns from residents about parking and traffic problems the expansion would cause.
We've repaved and relined a lot of our existing parking lots to, again, increase that parking ability.
The most prominent feature of the new wing is its women's pavilion, which features 10 child delivery and postpartum rooms. Registered nurse Marilyn Herrick says this keeps new mothers from having to constantly change rooms.
They come in, they can start out in a labor room, deliver in that room, and recover in that room before they go to postpartum. So that's a good thing.
The wing also features a new chapel for patients and loved ones. Officials say the hospital's growth is an effort to grow with the community and to better serve it.
We're Providence, and it's our business to provide quality and safe health care to all of our patients in our community. That's why we're here.
Now, this hospital isn't quite done with its expansion yet. There's still a 12-bed intensive care unit for premature and high-risk newborn babies that's due to open in the next couple weeks. From San Fernando, I'm Brendan Nakamini, Valley View News.
After a week of testimony, the Conrad Murray trial continued. The case of the doctor accused in Michael Jackson's death is not over yet. Prosecutors are still trying to collect evidence that would prove Murray's negligence led to the death of the pop star. Prosecutors say Murray covered up evidence of the drug propofol, which contributed to the singer's death. But Murray's lawyers say Jackson caused his own death by giving himself an extra dose without Murray's knowledge. If Murray is found guilty, he could face 4 years in prison.
Los Angeles police say crime reports have risen in 18 LA neighborhoods. 11 neighborhoods have experienced an increase in violent crimes. The neighborhoods include Sunland, Mar Vista, and Reseda. Property crime is up in 8 neighborhoods. Property crime has increased in Vermont Knolls, Eagle Rock, and Hollywood Hills West.
Parents and students at LA's Southeast High School are asking for better security after a student was stabbed to death. 17-year-old Cindy Santana was stabbed in her side and back during a lunchtime fight with her ex-boyfriend. Santana later died of her injuries at St. Francis Medical Center. Her 18-year-old ex-boyfriend is charged with murder and is being held without bail. Students are raising money for Santana's family.
U.S. authorities say severe turbulence contributed to injuries aboard 2 commercial flights that landed in Boston. 7 people were hurt aboard a JetBlue Airways flight from Puerto Rico to Boston. The airplane was Airbus with 130 passengers and 5 crew members on board. The second flight was diverted to Boston with 11 reported injuries due to rough weather.
24 people were arrested in Boston for trespassing during a protest against Bank of America. The protesters rallied outside the bank's office in Boston. They say they're angry about unfair foreclosure practices. The 24 people that were arrested spent several hours in jail but are unlikely to face any charges.
Coming up, news on air pollution, levels in Los Angeles, and a large ice shelf in the Arctic Ocean has dramatically decreased in size. Stay with us.